Boston College basketball has been a mess for as long as I can remember. Right now, Earl Grant has three major issues with this team he needs to fix before the season falls completely apart.
You are Locked On Boston College, your daily podcast on the Boston College Eagles, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Locked On Boston College, your team every day. I'm your host, AJ Black of Eagle Insider, part of the 247 Network. Thank you all who have made Locked On Boston College your first listen every day. And if you're looking for a Boston College podcast that is absolutely free and available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, you're in the right place. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Locked On for $20 off your purchase. Let's talk basketball. Again, we're doing extra episodes where I'm going to dive into some of the other sports other than football. Some of you have been asking for it, and I'm going to do some more. We had lacrosse yesterday. I talked about basketball. We had hockey. We're going to do more and more of these kinds of conversations. So hopefully you guys get your fill on everything BC here at Locked On BC. So I want to shout out a writer who had an interesting article that I wanted to respond to because I thought he brought up three really great points about the issue with BC basketball. This is Nick Petralia, and he writes for Eagles Daily. Shout out to Brett and Mac, who are the editors over there. Nick has done an excellent job with his coverage of BC basketball. If you haven't checked out his 5 to 10 minute clips after the games, they're fun to watch. He knows what he's talking about. And the reason I'm bringing him up was Nick had a clip, and I think it was in his Eagles Daily article, talking about three things that Earl Grant needs to fix to help BC get better. And basically, he was saying these are the three things I would change. And I 100% agree with all of them. So let's go through kind of what Nick brought up. The first thing is something that I have been yelling about ever since Earl Grant took over, is to stop shooting so many threes. Now, BC basketball is one of the worst teams in the nation in terms of the three-point shooting. They have been for a long time. Since they lost Jayden Zachary, I feel like they haven't really, and Mason Madsen, they really haven't had a consistent three-point shooter that can constantly drain those shots. And it seems like that's what their offense lives and dies by. Now, I get it, right? The current NBA, if you don't like three-point shooting, it's going to drive you crazy because that's all it is. It's like, pass, 3-pointer, pass, 3-pointer. Like everybody is shooting threes. All your bigs now are shooting threes. Like it is an epidemic in what sports are like. And this is, there's a bunch of reasons why. But for BC, this system doesn't work. And you don't have to be that team that shoots threes. You have Donald Hand and Fred Payne as your leading scorers, and you were probably relying on what you were hoping for Donald Hand to be, your three-point shooter. He's of anything that he's struggled with this year, and he's struggled on a few things. His three-point shooting has been, it's the biggest issue he's had. He's shooting, I believe, 21% from three-point range. He needs to stop doing that. And we've seen some, to his credit, we've seen his game kind of adjust a little bit where he's being more aggressive. He's getting to the rack more. That you're going to need to do more of because right now he is a complete liability shooting threes, and it kills your offense if that's what you're hoping for. He's, the beginning of the year, it was a disaster. And then you look at the rest of the roster, your leading three-point shooter is Luka Taves, who's averaging 6 points per game. So he's not even like a big three-point shooter, but like the guys that you're having that are going to be your shot takers, they're not good three-point shooters. So get away from that. Be more aggressive. And that leads to number 2 on his list, which is increase the tempo and push the ball. If there's the three-point shooting and their inability to shoot the three, if that's one thing that is really hard to stomach, the pace of Earl Grant's offense is right up there, if not worse. Like, I just think back to the Duke game just happened, and you're watching, and it's like a slog. every single possession is slow and it takes forever for the plays to develop. Like, you got to do some gimmicky stuff here. The reason you're not scoring a ton of points is because you take forever every time you get the ball. Take your time, like, push a little bit. I think Nick said it best. He said, it does not bode well for a poor shooting team to also play at a slow pace. This is not a call to implement Mike D'Antoni's 7 seconds or less offense, but BC's half court sets take way too long to develop. With athletes like Aiden Shaw and Jayden Hastings, the Eagles should run in transition, attack the rim, and throw lobs. Right. Like, I always joke about it on the show. Aiden Shaw is good for one good dunk a game. Why can't they try to get him a few more? Like, just try to get him those lobs. Try to do more of that. Push the tempo. Like, you have a decent enough defense to handle that. Push it a little bit. So I agree with him there. Like, I'm not expecting BC to be flying up and down the court, but you got to play with a little bit more sense of urgency. Like, you can't expect to win scoring 60 points a game or 64 points a game or whatever they have right now. It's just not realistic. Finally, press. The roster features strong defenders such as Fred Payne and Chase Forte, along with athleticism throughout the lineup. BC should apply more backcourt pressure to force turnovers and generate extra possession. This kind of, to me, matches well with point 2, which is you got to be more aggressive, period. Like, BC cannot play. They're not talented enough to play conservatively, offensively or defensively. Like, you need, and defensively, they may have a little bit more wiggle room, but you need to try to get extra possessions when you're BC. Like, when you don't have a team that can score a ton, you don't have those shooters, you need to steal a few possessions, and they're not doing that. And the best way to do it is to take some chances. You're already not going to make the NCAA tournament. You're not going to make the NIT. You might most likely miss the ACC tournament. Take some chances. Play aggressively. Don't just continue to just do the same things you've been doing, because is it working? No. As they always say, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. It feels like BC basketball is doing that right now. Look, I'm not Blake James. I'm not the board of directors, but anyone with anyone that's not, part of his family understands that right now Earl Grant is coaching for his job. Like, BC, unless you are completely oblivious, most of these games are played in front of nobody. There's no buzz at all about this program. Earl can't just keep doing these same things over and over again and expecting that all of a sudden people are going to get excited about it. It's a boring brand of basketball. It's a losing brand of basketball. And for anyone who wants to argue with me over it, look at the record. Look at who they've lost to. Look at the games that they've blown. Okay? They've blown so many games, I can't even keep track of how many they've blown. They've lost, like, 2 of the last 3 games they just lost have been blown leads. So they need to change some things. I don't think, will they do it? I would put good money that they will not. But I think Nick, shout out again to Nick, brings up some great ideas here. And it would be a great way to end the season. And if Earl can get this stuff to work, hey, and maybe they go on a run and win some games, maybe he earns himself another year. But right now, the way that they're playing, it's hard to watch. It's boring. And they're losing all the time. So why not take a chance? Why not change some things? Just my thoughts there. Thank you all for listening. My name's AJ Black. You can follow me at AJ Black 247. Check out our Everydayers Club. If you have not become, I'm building out this podcast to be even bigger than it was before. We're doing some special things, and I hope you become part of that Everydayers Club. On our show today, I want to talk about that new endowed position that they have for quarterbacks and some questions I have that we may not get the answers because BC is a private school, but I'm going to dive into them on the Everydayers Club All Access tier. Hopefully I'll see you guys all there, and we'll see you all again soon for another episode of Locked On Boston College, your team every day.